Hi y'all, this is Pam at Pink Dragonfly Wingz, and today we are going to, I've been watching videos and things. First I have to tell y'all, it has been an unbelievable week this week. A week ago today, my husband had surgery because he broke his hip. I tell you, it's just like a three-ring circus around here. Uh, but we were, most of you that have been watching know that we have relocated back to West Texas, and we were trying to kind of spruce up the yard and, get some things going. And we had bought these great old big huge pots to put. We have a dock down on the river. We have some riverfront property. Had some big old pots down there, and we were going to put these 4x4s down in there so that we could put some lights, solar lights on there. We want to have a little bit of ambiance light down there so we can see where we're going, so we don't fall off in the lake or fall off the deck and break our neck. But we didn't want overwhelming light. We just wanted a little bit of soft light that would help us get where we needed to be. So we had these bags about yay big by about yay big of pea gravel that we were going to pour down into these pots to hold and stabilize the boards. And we had 6 of them, plus a bigger bag of lava rock. And my husband, I tried to get him to take it down to the river, to the dock in the Jeep. Did he do that? No, he did not. So he got the dolly and took all 6 bags of pea gravel plus the bag of lava rock and trucked on down to the boat ramp. Well, the boat ramp down at the end of our little addition here is extremely steep. I don't know how anybody'd ever get a boat down there, but they didn't ask me to approve. But anyway, so he did that. Well, he was taking it down the ramp. The ramp was very steep. Here's a 190-pound dude trying to push 500 pounds of rock on a dolly downhill. And the law, he says, I fought the law of gravity, and the law won. Next thing he knew, it was pulling him down the boat ramp. He fell over, and the boat ramp is like right here, and over here is grass. But along this boat ramp is a lip, kind of. It's not really a curb, it's really just kind of a buildup to keep the person who's driving the boat down, to keep it from going off the dock the other direction. And he landed right on that with his hip and broke his hip. I called the ambulance because there was no way we could get him up, and besides, I didn't know at that point if it was broken or not. So we called the ambulance, got him in there, took him to the hospital. The doctor told him, came in, x-rayed and all that, and said, well, dude, you have been able to not only break the biggest bone in the body, but also the biggest joint in the body, and you did it at the same time. So he had to have surgery, and they hammered a titanium rod from his hip to his knee. And when I say hammer, I mean hammered with a hammer this rod into his leg, and then screwed it in at the top, screwed it in down at the bottom. So thank God he was asleep. But he is doing much better now. And by the time I am filming this today, and I'm not real sure what today is, it's about mid-April, but this may not air for a while. But anyway, hopefully by the time this video actually airs on YouTube, he will be rehabilitated and doing much better. So, but anyway, I am his caretaker, so I had to have a little bit of craft time. So I thought I'd come in, and we're going to learn how today to make faux rice paper. And I have seen this all over YouTube, and so you may have already seen it. Well, there you go. Tear that off. You may have seen it, but this is my take on it. And so we're gonna give it a whirl today. And then what I'm going to do is I'll let these dry overnight. So what I'll do is I'll do the part, we'll get it all set up, we'll get them all ready to go. And then tomorrow I will come in, we'll do the second half of the video. After it's dried, I'll show you how to peel it off and what to do and all that kind of stuff then. So, but for now, we're going to glue paper. So these are some of the ones that I have. These are just the I don't know if you can see that, but they're just printed napkins. And they, I haven't gotten all the little pieces of glue across the edge of it off, but they're just glued, and they make them kind of, now this one's a little darker, so it's not quite as translucent like, say, this one, but you can see that, you know, it's pretty neat. And so then after you've taken your napkin apart, then you can use the back two pieces and make some plain. Now this one, and there's another one in here somewhere, maybe this one, yeah. And I tore the napkin getting it done, but I used it anyway. But this is the second ply of this napkin right here, and you can just barely see some of the imprints of these butterflies on this piece. And then I can't remember which one this one came from. It's a little thicker. But I used those, and then I just have some clear ones. And this one back here is just a plain old table napkin that I used. And as best I could tell, it was a one ply. It was like one of these. And I tried and could not figure out how to get it separated. So I'm assuming it was one. And by the translucency of it, I think that was probably a good guess. So I did this one, and then I have a couple of pieces of tissue paper that I tried, and then I did some that I cut in half. So we're going to try this today, and then I'm going to show you how we did it, and then go from there. So if you'd like to try this, I think it would be great. If you do, please post your pictures so I can see. That, like I said, there are lots of videos on YouTube about doing this. And different people have used all kinds of different things. And I will list where I got my idea from. I can't remember her name right now, but I will put it in my description box down below so that you can see her video as well and kind of know where we're going from there. So the first thing that you need is these are cut up trash bag type things like you get at Walmart, like you get your things in at Walmart, except I think this one came from the Market Street that we have here, the Market store. And you just cut them apart. If you cut the sides down, cut off the bottom where it's pleated, and then cut off the handles, you have a piece that's just about the right size for what you need. Now, I usually use this little white thing under here, but I'm not going to use that today because I need to be able to see through this so I can see where I'm going. And I'm going to put me something here. I have my fan on in my room, and because I have that, all my papers go flying around, so I have to put everything down like with rocks and stuff. So, all right. Now, the first thing that we're going to do today is, if I can find it, maybe I ate it already, is we're going to use this little napkin. Now, this is one of those smaller napkins. It's not as big as this. These are the bigger, I guess you'd call these cocktail napkins maybe, but they're a little smaller, so they're a little easier to work with. Not quite as big as this one. But you open it up, and I got this one in some Happy Mail, and I thought, I'm going to be doing a book that I need these fishies for, so I'm going to make this into our faux paper. Now, we're going to get our glue, regular Elmer's school glue. That's all. And we're going to open this up, and we're going to pour. We do about 2/3 glue. So I'll pour about that much glue in there. and then 1/3 water. Just plain old water. Now, some of the ladies that I have seen on YouTube use coffee, and it kind of gives it that vintagey, antique kind of look. I have not tried that yet, but I am going to. I just didn't want to do it today, mainly because I didn't have any coffee left this morning. So I'm just going to use plain old water, and I'm going to pour it in here about another third. There we go. So you want it to be relatively thin. And then let me get my brush over here. And then we're just going to stir it up. So you have a kind of a thin consistency, about like yay. And that's what we're going to use. Make sure it's stirred up real good. Now they put theirs in a like a fruit jar or something that had a lid and shook it up and all that. I don't even have a fruit jar, so I used a bowl. It seems to work just fine. Then we're going to take our napkin and we are going to pull it apart. Now I know there's one ply. We're going to save these because this is what you can use to make your clear ones out of. And then I think there is this second one. Is so hard for me to get because I can hardly see it. I do have my glasses on, but sometimes my glasses, there it goes, don't help. But, and you can kind of see that, I don't know if you can see that, but you can still see kind of the, let's fold it in half and maybe you can see it better. You can still see some of the little fishes, the little fishy imprints on there. They're just black and white, but they're really cool, and it would just kind of give you a little bit of a hint of what that is. So you'll save those. And this one right here is what we're going to use. So you want just one ply of your napkin. Most of these little cocktail napkins, or at least the ones that I have found so far, are just 3 ply. So take off your 2 ply. You have one that's printed, one that's kind of imaged a little bit, and then one that's pretty white. Okay. And then they put a little pin down and marked all their areas and all of that kind of stuff. But you know, that's way too technical for me. So I just kind of eyeball it and look at it. So we're going to start with our glue. And we are going to just spread it out here on this bag, directly to the bag. And we're just going to spread it around. Spread the glue. Make sure the whole area is covered with your glue and water mixture. And just brush it on, brush it on, brush it on. And there we go. We get that all on there. And then we're going to take our napkin and we're going to kind of fold it, roll it up a little bit like this so that we can lay it down kind of in pieces. And then we're going to lay it down right here. And then touch these little lines here where the napkin was folded, so it kind of folds those, gets rid of those folds. We don't really want the fold. And then slowly just bring your napkin down. There we go. Tuck it in. Make sure it's all glued. All of your corners. And then we're going to get our glue mixture again. And we are going to start in the center. And we're just going to start brushing it out. Now you have to do this kind of lightly because not only are you using a 1-ply napkin at this point, but you're also getting it wet. And so it will tear really easy. We like the crinkles in there because it makes it look like the fibers of real rice paper. So don't worry about the crinkles or the creases that are in there. Once you get those fold marks over, those are the biggies. You just don't want it to look like it was folded. So, and you know, you may like that look, and if you do, then by all means keep them and do what you want to do. It's up to you. But we're going to cover this whole napkin here with our glue and water mixture. sure we get it brushed down really nicely. Make sure we get all of our edges really good and glued down. Now, another little trick that I've learned, more people do this than don't. So I decided if more people are doing it, it must be a better idea. So what they do after you get this all wet and all glued on top, it's now glued on the bottom and it's glued on the top. We're going to take the edge of our brush and just very gently go along the edges of this and push this edge in just slightly. When I get through with this, I'll hold it up and show you, so I think you can see a little bit better. But it makes the edge of this curl just a little bit, and it makes it easier to get off of your plastic. Now, I have seen several things that people have done. The one thing that I have pretty unanimously learned is wax paper does not work well for this. Somehow the glue adheres the napkin to it and it won't come off. So, you know, if you're wanting to take that off and have it really be like rice paper, you probably don't want to use wax paper. I don't know about parchment paper. This is just a plain old trash bag. One thing that a lot of people use are cereal bags. You know, those little bags that come in the boxes of cereal that the cereal is in. But we just don't eat much cereal, so I don't really have those little cereal bags. But this has worked just fine for me. And then you can turn this around so it's a little easier to reach. And get that right in there. And you're just closing it in, just scooting it in rather, just a little bit, just to kind of make a little kind of ruffled edge there. So I don't know if you can see that on here, but you can kind of see that little ruffled edge. I hope you can see that anyway. Okay, now that's all you do at this point. It's done. It's ready. It needs to dry. Let me kind of soak that one back in. And I'm going to just set them in here in the floor of my little craft room. And then let me scoot back here just a minute, and then I'm going to scoot back. Okay, and I'm back. And that way it'll just, I'm going to let them dry overnight. And some people dry them with a heat gun. I am too impatient for that, so because it takes so long for it to dry that way. Some people just put them outside in the sun, and you can leave them for just a little bit. But since I have so much trouble walking right now, that's hard for me to do. So I just put them on the floor in my craft room. I have my windows open, so there's a beautiful, wonderful breeze blowing through here. And I just come get them tomorrow. So at the end of this video, I'm going to stop it, and then I'll pick it up tomorrow when we get ready to come in. I'll show you how to take all these off and what we can do. So I'm going to get me another little bag. Now this one is a Walmart sack. Now one thing you need to keep in mind when you do this, one side of the bag does sometimes have printing on it. Don't use that side because the printing will come off sometimes onto your project, whatever you're working on. So try not to use the printed side there. And I think this time we'll use a piece of, this is Kim Holtz tissue paper. And it's a little bit thicker than usual tissue paper. I'm going to crumble it up. Make it really wrinkly. And then we're going to unfold it. Smooth it out. And the cool thing about this tissue paper comes in a little box like this. So it's kind of like foil or saran wrap or something. It has a little serrated edge here. So you can just tear off the size that you need. So it works out pretty good. And I made one of these in the packet that I showed y'all at the beginning. And I love this. Of course, I love this tissue paper. And I think this one would be awesome with the coffee on it. So, all right. So here we go. Now, this one's a little bigger. So we're going to make our spot just a little bit bigger. We're going to put our glue down. And just a really thin coat. Doesn't have to be thick. Just a thin coat on here. Hardest thing is when I have my windows open and the wind's blowing, I don't have enough hands to brush and hold and move and all that. So sometimes we make mistakes, but that's okay. We keep on using them and we keep on making them. You learn from your mistakes as much as you do from your successes, sometimes more. Okay, so that's all done and ready. So we're going to take our paper, do the same kind of thing, and that's just to keep it from getting stuck back here before you're ready. We're going to put our tissue paper down right here and kind of smooth it, and then we're just going to slowly pull it out. Yeah, I didn't scoot it up quite far enough, so kind of right here on the edge down here, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll do it. And then, now that we've got it all laid down, and this one's going to have a little more crinkles in it because we wadded it up. So, if you don't want those extra crinkles, don't wad it. And then we're just going to put this on here, but I just love the crinkles in it. Now, another thing that I have seen too, I have not tried this. Maybe I need to try this, and maybe I can try it and we can do another video on it and let's see how it works. But some people use one of the white napkins, one of these little pieces, one of the plies that you pull off, these little pieces, and they put one down and then put gold threads or sequins or glitter or fibers or any kind of thing like that on it, and then put another one on top and glue them together. Like I said, I have not tried that. This is really only my second or third time to try it this way, so I haven't done that. But we could try that and see how that works. And maybe we'll just do another video sometime and learn that little process together. So let me pull this up a little bit because I'm gonna try really hard. I've got some pretty good creases in here that need to kind of lay down. The good thing about this tissue paper is it really is a thicker kind of quality than maybe the tissue paper we use wrapping birthday presents and things like that. So it is a little more sturdier, and it can handle the wear and tear just a little bit. You can raise it up a little bit and pull it a little and make it a little smoother if you choose to do that. Okay, yeah. Then we're just going to kind of lightly do this. I did not have a problem getting this one up off of the plastic because of the serrated edge on this paper. So didn't have to worry too much about that. Okay, we're going to do it just a little bit, just to kind of help ever so slightly. And then if this end down here doesn't work very well because it's not stuck to the back of the bag, see, right there on the edge, then I may have to cut that off. That's okay, I don't mind doing that. Sometimes it's just a little bigger than my bag, and I work with what I get. So let's turn this around this way and do it from here. It makes it a little bit easier to do. Come on. You do have to make sure that it all lays down flat so that the top layer of glue can adhere with the bottom layer of glue. And it's a little harder to do on this type of tissue paper because it's just not as, what do you call it when it soaks up stuff? Anyway, porous. Yeah, it's not quite as porous. So I think I'm going to try to pull this up. There's a really big, big, big crease in that. And I want to see if I can get that out just a little bit because it's just really big. There, that's much, much better. Okay. So then all I did was put one down at the bottom. So, okay, there we go. So we've got this one ready to dry. We will set it over here and we'll get our next thing that we're going to try today. Let me set this one over here. I'll be right back. I sometimes kind of feel like Dr. Frankenstein in his lab creating weird things, you know. So get us another little bag. Again, pay attention to where your printing is on your bag and fold that part down. And put these back on here so it doesn't fly away. And let's see. I wanted to try this. This is a piece of, I think it's mulberry paper. And it's almost like a handmade paper. But it's got these leaves in here. So it's 2-ply. And I'm going to leave it like that. And we'll just see how it works. I don't know. I've not tried that before. Have not seen anybody else try that before. So we're going to try it and see how it works. So we're going to prepare our bag again. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll know next time not to do it again. But I found a piece of that in my tissue paper box that I had. And I thought, well, maybe we'll just try that and see how that works. And, you know, I've made mistakes and goofs before. So I'm sure if I do it again, it will not be a problem. So, all right, we're going to lay this down right here and see. I just don't know how this will do, but we'll find out. And then we're going to, once again, we're going to start in the center, brushing out, and put another good coat of glue and water, our glue and water mixture. Kind of stir that up a little bit ever so often just to kind of make sure it's staying together. I don't know if after a while glue and water separates or not, but just in case it does, we'll stir it up. You know, we like to stir up. So get this over here and we're just going to make sure it's good and covered on all the area. Oh, goodness. So I hope y'all are having beautiful, beautiful weather today. We are. Of course, we used to live in Colorado, so at this time of the year, we would not be having good weather. But it was absolutely beautiful here today. So nice for a change, I guess. Even though I totally and dearly loved my time in Colorado. So not complaining about that either. Now, I'm really going to make sure that we fold this edge up over here a little more than usual because the edge of this paper is really rough. It looks like it was maybe torn apart from something else. And so it has a pretty uneven edge. So I'll kind of try to even it up a little bit like that. And then we'll do this edge. And like I said, I don't know whether this one is going to work at all or not. We'll see. And but I thought, wow, that would be really pretty with those leaves in there. And be what a neat page for a junk journal that's got a nature theme. I just thought, wow, that would be really cool to have those beautiful leaves in there. think I'm going to take these glasses off. Sometimes I can see better up close without them. Okay, so there's our third one. This is really quick and lots of fun to do. The longest thing is just the drying time, so you have to be willing to wait for it to dry. But and another thing, just be careful when you lay them out that the edges of the Walmart sack that you're using sometimes wants to fold up over that and touch it. And then the napkin or whatever it is that you're working on underneath doesn't get really good and dry, and so it'll tear apart when you pull it apart. So just kind of get you some little rocks or vases or something and put on there so that it kind of keeps it from flying back on itself. Okay. All right, here goes the number 4, I guess. And this one is, let's see if I can find it. I don't know what I did with it. And I don't have it. Oh, I think it might have flown off over here. Just a minute. Let me do my contortionist act and see if I can get over here and find it. And of course, there it is. Way, way back there. We may have to do that on another day. So, I'm not going to make y'all wait. Now, this is a piece of deli paper that I had. You know, like what they use to wrap your hamburger in or something at some restaurants. Except this is printed. And I am, again, going to wrinkle this up because I think this would look so cool with the creases and stuff in it. But it's just plain old deli paper. Now, I've used some plain deli paper and it worked just fine. But I've not used this that's printed, so we'll see how this works. But, and that's okay. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll use it for something else. But we'll see. All right. So let's get this down and we'll put our glue down again. And mainly, I just wanted to try some different things. If you try, the one thing that I was going to try that I left was a dryer sheet, and it flew off over in the corner, so I can't get to it. But maybe at the end of this, I'll turn it off and go get another dryer sheet, and we'll try it again because I'm anxious to see what it does. I've seen people use cheesecloth. I've had people use really, really thin fabrics. All I have done so far is papers of different kinds. So, all right, let's get our, now this is a little stiffer, so it's not as big a deal about laying it down as the napkins because it doesn't flippy flop around like napkins do. But we're just going to make sure we get it all tucked down on that paper, on that bag. And let's see, that corner up there didn't get much glue on it, so let's put a little bit more on there. Okay, start in the center again, and we will glue out. There we go. Just work from the center out to the edges. Raise this up a little bit because I think some of our folding creases kind of are a little overwhelming right now, so we'll lay that down a little bit. There we go, that's much better. Get some more over here. make sure you get your edges really good with the glue and water, just because you want to make sure it doesn't curl up on the edges before you're ready for it to curl up on the edges. And like I said, I've not tried this particular type of paper before, so we'll try it and see how it works and go from there. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but there we go. Alrighty, there we've got that one. And we're gonna, this deli paper doesn't want to, I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna bunch it like we've done on the others because it doesn't want to bunch. And we can see what it does if you don't bunch. So we'll have this one to take off tomorrow and we'll see if it's harder to get off or anything. So let's do that. And this one can be our experiment. Alrighty, we'll put this one over there. And then I think we'll do one more today. And, oh, that bag hasn't been cut apart yet. So let's see if we can find one that I've already cut apart. There we go. Make sure we get our writing on the wrong side. Just mainly because I wanted to see what this one is going to look like. This was some tissue paper that I got, I think, in some shoes or something. Whew, it's pretty big, so let's kind of maybe cut it down a little bit. Maybe about yay much. And we can do this little piece here too, because you can certainly use that for half sheet in your junk journal or whatever you want to use it for. So that works. But I want to see how that looks because I just thought it was so cool. The print on it was really cool. So here we go. We're going to glue our paper or our bag and get that glued down. I'm sorry this is kind of repetitious, but I wanted y'all to see the different kinds of paper. And please, if you decide to try this and you're using different kinds of paper or different mediums or things that you try, please do a picture or a video or something so we can kind of see, because I'm really anxious to see how everybody else's stuff turns out. Okay, so we'll fold up our tissue paper, put it right over here, lay it out, fold it out, stick it in our glue. There we go. Yeah, I think these little designs on here, I don't know what they are. They look kind of like, I don't know, abstract cars or something. But anyway, I thought it would be really cool, so I want to see how it does. And we'll give it a whirl, and there we'll go. So when I get ready to do this, I'm going to make this a part 1, and then the part 2 will be us taking the papers off of this plastic and using that, and show you how easy it is to do that and some things. So we'll do that in our part 2, and I will film that tomorrow. Now when I post it on YouTube, they will be aired one right after the other, so they'll be together so you can watch the whole thing. And well, one will probably be 1 week and the other one will be the other week, so it won't be immediately after, but it'll be pretty close and you can see it. So alrighty, get our edges down good, and then we'll do our scrunching. Come on. Now this tissue paper is a little thicker as well, kind of like the Tim Holtz tissue paper that I use. It's a little thicker, so it doesn't want to curl up on the edges quite as much as the napkins do. So we'll just kind of have to see. I just don't know if I'm going to like that. I think I'm just going to leave it flat too, because it's really not wanting to crunch. It's just wanting to fold up. And then I'm afraid the glue won't dry very well. So anyway, and so we'll do this, and we'll see what happens. I have some coffee here. I wonder if I just spray some coffee. Except this sprayer thing doesn't work, so let's just try this. And just sprinkle some coffee on it. I don't know if that's going to work very well at all. But you don't know till you try, so we'll just give it a try. I can't tell. The paper's too dark. Can't tell that it's making any difference whatsoever. So we'll just leave it. We'll let it dry. We'll pull it off and see what we can use it for. So anyway, please give this a try. It's really, really a lot of fun. It's easy. You can't mess it up. If you mess it up, you just use that for something else. So anyway, I am going to leave you with that. Please visit my online store. It's at Pink Dragonfly Wingz with a Z.com. See what kinds of things we have in there. If you have any suggestions or comments about the store, please help us. I am not opposed to constructive criticism. I need help. I don't know this very well, so if you have some ideas, some suggestions, some things that I can do to make it better for you, please let me know. Go give us a look. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to our channel. And as soon as we can all get over our broken bones and heal surgeries, we're going to be back in full force, and I'll be putting out a monthly newsletter. You can sign up for that on our online store at pinkdragonflywingz.com. So do that, and we'll keep you posted on the newsletter. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this today. It's been a lot of fun. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.